When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
James Mennie over at the Montreal Gazette. Jim, what's going on with Simon Jolin Barrette?
Beats the hell out of me. I mean, I would guess they are all of them trying in these last gasp months of the existence of the Coalition Avenir Québec to try and con the people of Quebec into thinking they were anything other than a lot of petty-minded populists who basically spent 8 years of our time and our money trying to convince one group of us to, get angry, if not necessarily hate the other group. This idea that somehow he has, I've taken out the part where I was going to make you pay the legal fees to challenge government legislation, which, of course, is concocted and executed with public funds, but we wanted you to pay on the private part. So I don't care if he says it's not because of Joe Ortona. It doesn't change the fact that Joe Ortona, head of the EMSB, was 1,000% right. This was basically a Banana Republic document, which was written. All he's done today is grab a fresh handful of cocktail napkins and begun taking his Sharpie pen and began making new so-called legislation. Remember, this Constitution is not a Constitution per se. It's proposed legislation. In other words, anything that anybody says, okay, even if they could make the most ridiculous claims for any minority community in Quebec, and they could turn around, if, God help us, they got elected again, and just amend it back to the way it was. So this is nothing more than more cheap vaudeville political performance from a government that's way past its best due date. It is going to make all kinds of symbolic gestures, I guess, in an attempt to try and remain relevant. But the fact of the matter is, and I really hope, as bitter as I am, having had to put up with this for this hypocrisy for 8 years, I just hope some of this trickles through to the rest of the Quebec electorate, because honestly, these guys were as bad in 2022 as they are now, and they somehow got reelected with an even larger majority. So God help us. Let's just hope that the lesson's been learned, and maybe Quebecers will think twice, 3 times, or 10 times before they cast their ballot for someone who says, it's okay, because I'm in favor. There's more to being in favor of people named Tremblay to being Premier of Quebec in 2026 than there was, say, in, 1956.
Hey, can I just ask a question, Jim? This token concession, if we can call it that, by the minister today, I think I may have asked you this the first time around, and you just kind of talked about it, but I want people to understand. I want to make sure I'm right on this. After October, if there's a new government in place, this Constitution is not worth the paper it's written on. Is that accurate?
Exactly. It's dead. It's dead. I mean, the first thing, presuming that they actually get it voted on, and frankly, I think for a Constitution, you'd think you'd need a unanimous vote of the National Assembly at least. But even so, whoever comes in can turn around and say, Bill 1, let's rescind that, because it's just, a piece of garbage. It's just nothing more. It is a complete piece of political flummery, a waste of time and our money. In terms of, I don't know, who are they trying to appeal to with this rubbish? And especially, as I say, next government, no matter who it is, even these guys, they can turn around and say, "Hey, did we say that? No, we didn't mean that. We meant this." So it's like, really, stop now. Stop blowing smoke, okay? Get your CVs up to date, because who knows? You may have to use them after October. But in the meantime, stop continuing to insult people's intelligence, or at least give us a truce between now and October.
All right, let's move on and talk about. I did not see this story, this inquest about the homeless situation. What's going on here?
Well, I don't usually raise administrative stuff, but I got to tell you, I heard the news today, and we just had it on the news broadcast that we came in on, and frankly, I'm scratching my head over what are we going to learn. Like the mandate of a Quebec coroner, whether it's a public inquiry or whatever, is to determine the cause of death, to figure out whether or not they can make recommendations to prevent such instances from happening again. And I think they've chosen the deaths of about 5 homeless people over the past year or so. But I don't, with all due respect to the coroner's office, because they do great work, but the fact of the matter is, they died because they were homeless, because of a lack of resources, because of a lack of government funding, yada, 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 and that'll be it. And the findings of this report will be placed on a shelf. No matter who becomes the next government, it'll be placed on a shelf because God knows. I would respectfully submit, Aaron, if you took 1/10 of the money, of the public money, that a succession of governments, this one most recently, have basically just thrown out the window, set on fire on a bunch of stupid photo ops, and pointed that at homelessness, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation, but it's not going to happen. Yeah. It is it's Montreal's shame, it's Quebec's shame. It is not it's not rocket science. I'm sorry. The fact is, if we had the will to deal with it, and to say and to sort of, it's a housing problem. Yeah, it's a housing problem. It's an addiction problem. It's a medical problem. It's a problem that needs scrutiny and focus, and it's never had any of that from any government that I've ever covered in the past 40 years. So, and meanwhile, the numbers keep getting bigger. Meanwhile, the definition of homelessness becomes more broad. And when we have, and this is something that I never thought I'd see, and we now take it for granted, we have homeless encampments. Not as a protest, not like the Victoria Square one that everyone covered. Oh, well, it's because of what's happening on Wall Street, and it's, down with Wall Street. No. These things are just springing up on their own because these people have no place else to go. There's no room at the inn, so to speak, and their numbers are getting bigger. So, will the coroner's inquest address that? I'm not entirely sure that it will, but I can absolutely assure you that the findings of no matter how sincere, no matter how diligent, will just be water off a duck's back when it gets to government. Yeah. As I say, the heat isn't there. The political thermodynamic isn't there until people get angry enough and say this is unacceptable. Even if you're mad because it's in your backyard, get angry enough and tell, never mind language, never mind this, never mind that, get this dealt with. This is absolutely unacceptable, and it's shameful for any government to turn around and say it has Quebecers' best interest in heart when there are people who are sleeping under blizzards in a city like Montreal in tent towns because, there's nothing we can do. There's plenty you can do. You just aren't doing it.
Jim, I want to just have you touch on something. I don't know if you heard it. We had a gentleman on talking about the situation with our infrastructure, specifically as it applies to water in this province. And part of the recommendation here is because we're apparently the biggest wasters of water in the country, I think, other than Newfoundland, absolutely. I think he said, introducing water meters. And I thought that's just going to set every citizen's hair on fire. What do you think?
Yeah. My hair's starting to smolder already, even as you're talking to me, Aaron, because I agree with you completely. We waste water like nobody's business, although, to be fair, the last figure I saw was up to maybe 20% of the water that's being, processed at the filtration plant between the time it gets to my tap or our tap, just sinks into the ground because the entire infrastructure system is so decrepit that it's leaking like a sieve. But the idea of putting more money, about charging people for water use, it'll certainly put more money in government pockets. I'm not entirely sure that money is going to go towards infrastructure and recapturing that 20% of water that's being seeping into the ground.
So that's your conspiracy theory, because we've talked about conspiracy theories as well.
Oh, it's not a conspiracy
theory. Government taking the money that should go one place but doing something else with it.
Yeah. It's not a conspiracy, Aaron. I don't have the time. We both know I don't have the time to sit here and give you the 20 examples I could give you. But we know for a fact, and our listeners know, that money will be collected and will wind up, creating identity camps for the Quebec nation.
Identity camps. All right, there's a
new one. Why not?
Hey, Jim, did you happen to hear the premiere from Quebec City earlier this afternoon?
No, I didn't.
You
Aaron.
did? Go
What's
ahead
he
and play.
done now?
What's that, Jim?
What's he done now?
Take a listen to this.
Bonjour. I know that many of you may be surprised to learn that I have spent the last few days thinking about something that I was not even considering only a few weeks ago. But in business, as in politics, sometimes you don't see what is coming next until it happens. And that is why, as I prepare to step down as Premier, that I would like to tell you how surprised and excited even I am at what is next for me. After Michael Rousseau made what I believe was a very grave mistake when he did not speak French in his speech, I received a call from the airline asking if I would be interested in taking over. And after speaking about it with my wife and family, I am announcing today that I have decided to accept the offer to become the next president of Air Canada. Merci. Bonjour.
No, thank you, sir. That's fine. So, Jim, what do you think?
You know what I think? I think if you go any further with
Yes,
this
sir.
Dr. Frankenstein AI stuff of yours, and on April 1st, just, all I'm saying is be careful, Aaron. That's
April Fools, Jim. April Fools, because it doesn't end at noon on this show.
Oh, you got me. You got me,
Thank you,
Aaron.
Jim. Yeah, because I know that was really believable.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Jim, you heard anybody interested in the job? Have they been talking to anybody you've heard?
They haven't called me, that's for sure.
Wow.
And, like I say, whoever it is, whoever, I don't care. I don't care if they speak Klingon. I just want them to drive the share price back up, if you don't mind. Please and thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's up in the last 3 days. I don't know if that had anything to do with Michael Russo, but there is that, Jim. So just saying. Jim, thank you. I appreciate it.
Demand.
Experience Bruno Mars live in Toronto.
Guess who's back again?
iHeartRadio wants to send you and a friend with flights from tripcentral.ca. 2 nights at Sheraton Centre Toronto. Tickets to Bruno Mars and $1,000 cash.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Download the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to iHeart New Music for 10 minutes.
I'm coming to get you.
Win your way to Bruno Mars.
Will you be there? Oh, I just might.
Every day you listen is another chance to win.